हाँ हाँ।
मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि फिल्म देखने से पहले और फिल्म देखने के बाद
पहले आप किस तरीके से, किस मनोस्थिति में गए थे कि यार ये फिल्म कैसी होगी, और फिल्म देखने के बाद आपका क्या रिएक्शन था?
चूँकि किरण ने इतनी तारीफ़ की थी और किरण के टेस्ट पे मुझे बड़ा भरोसा है, तो इतनी तारीफ़ की थी तो मुझे लगा था कि यकीनन अच्छी फिल्म होगी। और वाकई जब मैंने फिल्म देखी तो आई वाज जस्ट फ्लॉर्ड विद द फिल्म। ये फिल्म आपको हंसाती है, रुलाती है, आपको सोचने पर मजबूर करती है, और आखिर में आपको एक सेलिब्रेटरी मूड में छोड़ती है। इट ऑल्सो इंस्पायर्स यू, इट मेक्स यू फील गुड। इट्स वेरी लवली स्टोरी, वेरी वेल मेड फिल्म। बहुत ही बेहतरीन फिल्म मुझे लगी। और बहुत कम फिल्में हैं मुझे लगता है हिंदुस्तान में जो हम बनाते हैं जिसमें कि जो हमारे मेन लीड कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं, वो उन्हें कोई तकलीफ़ होती है, जिस्मानी तौर पे कोई तकलीफ़ होती है, जैसे आम ज़बान में हम डिसेबल्ड कहते हैं या डिफरेंटली एबल्ड कहते हैं। मुझे बल्कि कई डिफरेंटली एबल्ड लोगों ने ये सवाल पूछा है कि आप क्यों ऐसी फिल्म नहीं बनाते ऐसे किरदारों के ऊपर, ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स के ऊपर। तो जब मैंने ये फिल्म देखी तो मुझे लगा कि हाँ, वाकई आखिर किसी ने ये फिल्म बनाई है। और ये फिल्म जो आपके लीड प्रोटैगनिस्ट हैं वो डिसेबल्ड हैं या डिफरेंटली एबल्ड हैं, लेकिन उनमें जो जज्बा है वो बहुत ही कमाल का जज्बा है। तो बहुत ही कमाल की फिल्म बनाई है। तो आई थिंक जो आमतौर पे जो हमारे समाज में जो लोग हैं जो डिफरेंटली एबल्ड हैं, उनको उनके उनके हीरोज़ कौन हो सकते हैं, उनके लिए कौन किरदार हैं, उनके किरदार भी हम पर्दे पे देखें, तो ये एक फिल्म है जिसमें ऐसा हमें मौका मिलता है।
Sonali here, to your left, slightly to your left. You can see my hand raised here. Here, yeah. Lovely trailer. You have handled the subject very well from what I can see, from the trailer. What is the census certificate that you are hoping to get for this?
I think UA, Ajit. Ajit told me that. We got a UA for our trailer with no problem.
But no, given the new censor board issues that have been cropping up, do you see you getting a UA for this? Or
I'm not experienced enough to answer this question.
Aamir, can you answer?
See, as she said, we've already got a UA for the trailer. That's why the trailer is in front of you, and we will try and get a UA for the film. But if it requires that we compromise, the core of the film to get a UA, we will not do that. And for that, if we have to get an A but still be true to the film, I think we are very clear we will do that, because this is a film that should express itself the way it is.
Shinali, here. So, here, Sonia from IBS and towards your right. Yeah. Should I stand? Talking about censor only, recently this film has come up with Dam Laga Ke Haisha, and censor has muted this word lesbian from the film. And since your film also depicts this kind of relationship, what do you have to say about it? And do you think that really censor is going to create problems for the giving you UA certificate? And if censor comes up with something like this with your film also? And now, Aamir, I would also like to have an answer from you also on this as a filmmaker.
I mean, the thing is, how can we predict what the censor board will do? So we might as well wait and see what they come out with firstly. And I believe that list, they had issued a list of names, and after that, that's been retracted. So I'm not worried about things like that. And I think one has to just wait and see. Personally, I'm anti-censorship. I feel there should be a rating system. I feel it's ridiculous that we are infantilized in this country in this way. My first film, Aamir, was censored, and it was censored because there was no sex and violence in the film. They said, why should young people know a history that is better buried and forgotten? Because that film was on a genocide. So I'm very strongly against this kind of censorship. As to what this censor board will do, I don't know. I'm going to hope for the best, and let's see what they come up with.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should try and preempt what the censor certification will be and how the members will react. I think we should allow them to, see it in an unbiased manner without any pressure. But I feel that, in a country like India, which is a democracy where we have freedom of speech, it will be quite difficult to not allow a film, on unreasonable grounds. I have faith in our democracy. I feel it will be very difficult to allow unreasonable things to happen, and it may take a little longer. I think you'll have to go through the procedure of perhaps even it's happened in the past. You can approach the court, the courts of law, and they can also take a decision on this and help you. Because I think freedom of speech is a very important right that we have as individuals living in India in a democracy. And I'm sure the justice system will protect that right. I have no doubt about that. So I think the film is a very beautiful film. It's a very creative film. It's a very beautiful film. And in my opinion, I see absolutely no reason why they should have any problems.
Hi, Aamir, this is Faridun from Bollywood and Amma. Actually, today morning we spoke to Mr. Mukesh Bhatt, and he said that Anushka's film NH10, it had gone for censors yesterday, and the censor board has refused certification for it because apparently there are some cuss words in the movie. So, and they had this meeting with the INB minister some time back, and he had said that all that 28 words won't be applicable, and I'm not in favor of that. But somehow it's not working. So, like a movie like NH10, Anushka Sharma may be going to High Court for appealing to it. So there are still things over.
Yeah, so I think that this is probably a time and a phase that we are passing through. But I think all of us who believe in freedom of speech should come together. I completely agree with what Shonali said earlier. I'm also not in favor of censorship. I'm in favor of the rating system. So in a democracy, I don't think I should be told what I can say, what I can't say. But you can certainly see my film. The censor board can see my film and say that the kind of material that you have made is not appropriate for people below this age, for children below this age. So you can say, 12 and below, or 12 and above can watch it, or 15 and above can watch it, or 18 and above can watch it, which makes it an adult film. So I don't think that adults in our country need to be told, need to be kept away from material. They will themselves choose what they want to see and what they don't want to see. An adult person, will decide what he wants to see and what he doesn't want to see. So I think that's what I believe. And if we do as an industry, if we do face it as a problem, then certainly I'm quite sure that all of us will come together and face that together.
It is unprecedented that a movie has been denied certification. You can tell that these things are there and maybe you should just rework. So these are different times somehow. This has never happened, I think. So.
Yes, it is rather unusual. I'm also surprised to hear that a film has been denied certification. That is extremely, extremely unusual and perhaps unprecedented. So if that's happening, that's very unfortunate. And certainly we should come together and approach the authorities, which we believe will listen to reason.
Aamir, on a lighter note, on a lighter note, I'll be asking you this question. You said because Kiran liked the film and you had to see it. What are the other things that Kiran likes and you cannot refuse her?
There is no such thing that I cannot refuse. That I can refuse, rather.
On your fingertips, could you name them?
What are the things I can't refuse? Well, actually, Kiran is a lovely person. Yeah, it's very difficult to refuse her.
Definitely.
It's extremely difficult to refuse anything she says. So I quite enjoy listening to her actually, because most of the time it's for my own good.
Hi, good evening. Myself Vaishali Chandra from Koimur. My question is for Kalki. What do you take back from the journey of Laila? Being with the character for so long, portraying it.
Well, before I started the film, I knew nothing about cerebral palsy except for one film I'd seen, My Left Foot by Daniel Day-Lewis. And it opened my eyes to how little education we all have. And I'm a pretty privileged, educated person in the country. And I've had very little exposure to how to be around somebody who's disabled, to know, just basic how do you behave around them. You feel awkward, you don't know what to ask them and things like that. So this whole process really opened my eyes, meeting Malini Chib, who's Shonali's cousin and who has cerebral palsy. And then going to adapt and working there. It just made me realize, the basics of human, that we're all human beings and that we need to understand each other, and the only way to do that is to ask questions and talk to each other face to face. And this film really, what I love about this film is it doesn't take disability or sexuality and make it this big issue. It says this is how life is. So what? Get on with it. You still get on with life. And Laila's character has this sort of beautiful sense of life and, you know, a way of, you know, getting up every time and making a joke out of things. And that's something that Malini Chib also really has in her life. And I think she was a huge inspiration for Shonali and for me, just because, you know, this attitude, which you see already in the trailer, but you'll see a lot more in the film, of, you know, Laila's love for life, basically. So yeah, I learned a lot from the film.
Aamir, लव जिहाद मामले में बीजेपी लीडर प्राची साध्वी ने खान की फिल्म
I think आज हम लोग मार्गरेटा के बारे में बात करें, क्योंकि वरना टॉपिक यहाँ वहाँ चले जाएंगे, है ना?
ओके सॉरी, उन्होंने खान की फिल्म ना देखने की मांग की, इस पे व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दैट?
I think I'd like to answer questions about Margarita. Otherwise, I'm here to support the film. I really feel that we should talk about the film. और भी मौके होंगे ये सब बातें करने के लिए.
I just wanted to ask, because the film has already been released abroad, and I believe, I mean, it has gone to the film festivals, and must be in the process of getting properly released in various other markets, overseas markets. Now they also have a certification system. How do you think, what kind of certification do you expect for the film in the US markets, for instance? Has it been released in the US market by any chance?
No, not yet. But there, of course, it's just a rating system. But I wouldn't expect an R, like it were. R is the equivalent of the A certificate here. I don't think it would be an
No,
R.
R is not equivalent to A certificate here. Actually, 17 plus is equivalent to A certificate here. But then there have been films like, you know, Blue is the Warmest Color. They have not been released. I mean, they are also about lesbian relationship. It is a Palme d'Or winner film at Cannes, but it hasn't been released in US. It is not getting any certification.
Yeah. So let me
Is
just
that because
add-
of certification?
This rating system, which is akin to certification in the sense that unless you have certain ratings, suppose you have above 17 ratings, cinema halls won't allow non-adults to enter the cinema hall. They enforce it very strictly, not the way we do it here, where, you know, even the kids can go in for adult cinema and nobody stops them. So they're very, very strict about this. The exhibitors in US and everywhere, I mean, whatever is my experience, and I have some experience in this area, they're very, very strict about it.
Are you saying that an American film is not released because it's not been passed by the censors or anything?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that an American
Achha, you're not saying
film
that, huh?
has to have a rating. If the
Yeah.
rating
So
is
to
above
answer your
17,
question, sir. So Margaret.
if the rating is above 17, the exhibitors will not allow non-adults to enter the cinema hall.
Yes. So
You
just
know,
to
which is not enforced
got
that way
it.
here
Got
in
it.
India.
May I answer? So with Margarita with the Straw, firstly, that's not a right parallel with Blue is the Warmest Color. You haven't seen the film. It's actually not a lesbian film. It's not that kind of film at all. And Blue is the Warmest Color, the problem for its release is not about certification, just to correct you on that. I live there. With Margarita with the Straw, it's interesting that it's actually been selected by high schools, by teachers, and requesting me to go and speak. And this is 8th grade onwards, where they would like their students to see the film. So I'm very confident there's not going to be a problem with certification. We have sold to North America, to Japan, South Korea, Spain, various other territories. We opened at the Toronto Film Festival, where it was our world premiere. We won the Netback Jury Award. The response from young people and from parents wanting their kids, actually, teenage kids, to see it has been overwhelming and amazing. The way the youth has responded to this film, not just youth of different countries, but our own Indian youth who live abroad. So that has been fantastic.
Hi,
Yeah, I just want to add to this. हम लोग को पता नहीं ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि देखिए आपको मुझे एक चीज़ बस करनी है यहाँ पे, क्योंकि जब सेंसरशिप की बात आती है और हम लोग सोनाली से भी सवाल कर रहे हैं और इस बात पे बार-बार सवाल करते हैं, तो कहीं एक अंदर से एक लगता है कि फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के लोग चोरी करके अपनी फिल्म निकालना चाहते हैं और जो फिल्म किसी के लिए मुनासिब नहीं उसे दिखाना चाहते हैं। ऐसी मंशा, ये एक गैर जिम्मेदार लोगों की इंडस्ट्री नहीं है, ये क्रिएटिव लोगों की इंडस्ट्री है जो अपनी बात कहना चाहते हैं। उसमें गैर जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, उसमें कहीं ये नहीं है कि अगर सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाए तो निकाल लें, यूए निकाल लो, वो निकाल लो, ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसे लोग नहीं है। तो कहीं मुझे लगता है कि इंटेंट को ना क्वेश्चन करके ये उसकी प्योरिटी को समझे कि एक फिल्म मेकर जो है अच्छी नीयत से वो समाज को बिगाड़ने के का एक झंडा लेकर नहीं निकला है अपने हाथ में कि चलो समाज को बिगाड़ते हैं, बच्चों को बुरी चीजें दिखाते हैं। ऐसा एक मुझे लगता है जब भी हम सवाल करते हैं कहीं तो ऐसी एक नीयत सी दिखाई देती है।
Why the films that are sparse as the adult films, they're again self-censored by the filmmakers and sent for recertification? Why does this happen? Should we not stop recertification of films then?
देखिए इस पर एक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर ये ऐसा वक्त आया है कि ये चर्चाएं हो तो इट्स वेरी गुड इन डेमोक्रेसी दैट वी आर discussing this, and I think I'm sure if we openly discuss this and we are ready to listen to each other, I think there will be a way out which will be good for us.
Aamir, my question is to you. Hi, Aamir. Yeah, Aamir. Center. Yeah. So you openly spoke to print media saying that about the AIB controversy, that your reaction was more emotional than moralistic. Do you even speak to the electronic media that...
On some other day.
May I just ask a question related to the film?
See, I think it's very important that we talk about this film today. I'm sure you'll have many opportunities to ask me, and whatever I've answered, you must have read.
Hi.
Just one thing, possibly on the censor issue. I've just come back from France where we had our French premiere, and in that festival there was a young jury where kids from 15-year-old to 18-year-old were on jury, 20 kids, and they unanimously chose Margarita with a Straw for that jury award.
Wow.
So I hope that answers the question.
सोनाली, मेरा आपसे सवाल है सेंटर.
Should I just want to ask a question related to the film and only the film?
सोनाली, मेरा आपसे एक सवाल है. आमतौर पर देखा जाता है फिजिकली डिसेबल.
Let her just finish her question.
So I just wanted to ask, both disability and sexuality are really strong subjects on their own. When you had written the script and when both the actors saw it, I just wanted to know the first reaction of reading such a strong script.
Let the actors answer.
I want your reaction from their reactions along with yours as to how you thought a person would react to your script as well.
I mean, I love the script. You know, Shonali emailed it to me, I think, and I immediately wrote back to her and said that I love the script and it scares the hell out of me that you even think I can do this, and I need to know whether I can do this as well. So, you know, that audition was probably more for me than for you, Shonali. And no, I mean, you know, it's never discussed, this story of a girl who falls in love with herself. That's what the film is about. At the end of the day, it's about somebody who's accepting herself, and it's a normal teenage story. You know, it's a regular story of a girl going out and, you know, with all your hormones going haywire and all of that, and discovering what it is to be awkward, and then finally making mistakes, and then finally growing up, coming of age. That's what the film is about, and it was beautiful. Yeah.
Not even for a moment did I feel weird about the whole concept, because there was a lot of respect that I had for Shonali after watching Ammu, and I had watched it in college. She had come with the film. But after I read the script, not even for a second did I even think that, you know, how will I be able to? Yes, will I be able to as an actor to pull this off, as it's a very, very difficult and challenging character to play, but not what you're asking. No, never did it bother me. And also, you have to completely depend on your director, and you have to completely trust the people who are trying to make the film, and that trust was completely there on Shonali, Nilesh, and Anne, who was the DOP of the film and has done a tremendous job. So it's the representation and the treatment, and the story was so beautiful that, and once you see the film, you'll realize that it's the story of Laila and these people, these enormously strong women, the three women that are in the film. It's their story. So you won't even think about these things, you know, once you've seen the film. Thank you.
Just to say about the script for me, we were very privileged and lucky. I was the first Indian to win the Sundance Mahindra Global Filmmaker Award, which was given to the screenplay. And, you know, people like Shabana, Shyam Benegal, Anurag had done the screening to choose this, and then Sundance chose that from the top three, they chose this. And I remember when I went to the Sundance Writers Lab, I felt that, this is the Indian winner, like what's going to happen now? Like, maybe they'll say some superficial things. And, I had already spent a year with Nilesh writing this when I went there. And they tore it to bits, and they felt that I was not in it the way I was with Amu, that I wasn't deep in the character's skin. It felt very much that I was looking from the outside, and I instantly realized and recognized that because I was writing about my sister Malini, that it was very external. And after that lab, I went even deeper and wrote from a very, very deep place and really owned it and wrote from my own experiences in life and my own pain and loss and love and everything. And I loved that the NetPack jury called it that, a love letter to life, because it is my love letter and it's my love letter to India. And I'm most excited to bring this deeply personal story and film and script of mine to India.
सोनाली, मेरा आपसे एक सवाल है, सेंटर आपसे सवाल है कि जैसे देखा जाए कि फिजिकली डिसेबल्ड लोग हैं, उनके इमोशन को या सेक्सुअलिटी को आज भी हमारे देश में टैबू का सब्जेक्ट माना जाता है। तो मैं जानना चाहूँगा फिल्म बनाने के दौरान कितनी तकलीफों का सामना करना पड़ा, कितने चैलेंजेस आपके सामने आए, कितना रिसर्च किया आपने?
सॉरी, मैं इंग्लिश में मुझे जवाब देना पड़ेगा क्योंकि हमारा ये डिसएडवांटेज है कि हम इस देश में, वैसे मैं बंगाली हूँ और तो हिंदी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, और फिर अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारा एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हमें इतना कॉलोनाइज करते हैं कि अंग्रेजी ज़्यादा साफ आती है, तो उसके लिए आई एम सो जेलस ऑफ प्रसून एंड आमिर, खड़ाखट सो नाइसली दे कैन आंसर हिंदी। एक दिन ऐसा भी होगा मेरे लिए, तो मैं इंग्लिश में जवाब दूंगी कि मेरा एक, for me the biggest learning was growing up with my sister Malini, who's just 1 year younger than me. And when we were teenagers, I remember that I felt very conscious that I couldn't date anybody because she was more romantic than me and she always wanted to fall in love and was always surprised when men looked at her that they weren't actually in love with her just because they were being kind to her, and it broke my heart more than it broke hers. And I was like, I can't date anybody because she's the one who wants to date somebody more. And then, I went to America to study and moved on in life and forgot about that. And when I was 40 and she was 39, we had met in London. We were having a drink together. And the title actually, just to divert for a second, when I was writing the first draft of the film, at the end of writing that draft, it just came up with this title, Margarita with a Straw. And one of the reasons is that Malini has always outdrunk me. This is one of the myths we also have about the disabled. You don't think that the disabled can have a drink, leave alone have sex. And she's always outdrunk me. And when we'd go out drinking, and I would, actually I'm not a big drinker, I would say, एक नींबू पानी और एक whiskey soda, इस plastic cup में whiskey soda डालना वो straw के साथ. Because you don't have really grown up nice cups for the disabled, so then these plastic children's sippy cups. And the thought came to me, and you need a straw because otherwise she can't sip it. And so the idea came to me that a drink with a straw, and I came up with Margarita because my son said, don't say this in public. It's really embarrassing because it's a cliche, but I'm going to say it. But basically, when life hands you lemons, you can be bitter and sour, or you can make lemon juice. And in my case, I made a margarita when life handed me lemons and raised a toast. But Malini and I were having a margarita, and I said, Malini, what do you want for your 40th birthday? It's the best birthday ever. And she said, and sometimes the speech comes out crystal clear, and this was one of those moments. And she said, I just want to have sex. And it hit me really hard actually, because I had not thought about my sister's sexuality. And she wrote a brilliant book, One Little Finger, because she typed it with one little finger. And in that book, she actually wrote that it's actually family members and carers who the most overlook the sexuality of the disabled. It made me very conscious as a sister that I had also forgotten that. And that was the spark for me, for the story of looking at the sexuality of the disabled. I didn't really need to research that as much because I've grown up with Malini and many other young people because my entire family has been in the movement for disability. So I knew how they think and feel. It's just, I had for her to do something about it. But I was very aware of how it would play out, how I would write it and how I would actually end up directing it. So I think that part wasn't hard for me at all.
Gentleman from Vicom, a question for you.
All right, before we take the question forward, we'll
yeah.
just take the last two questions. Thank you.
What sort of release strategy are you planning for Margarita with a Straw? Because we've seen in the past a movie like Lunchbox, it's become one of the most biggest commercial success internationally, and even in India it's done exceedingly well because the belief was there. So what sort of release strategy are you having for Margarita with a Straw, both in India as well as abroad?
One word, honesty. I think we're not trying to do anything. We're not trying to change the animal. You know, if it's a giraffe, we're not making it into a penguin. You know, it's a tall animal. It can see itself. It can express itself, and we would present it the way it is. So you know, there was a thought that how can we continue with this title? Should we have a Hindi name and so on and so forth? But I think we are placing that entire hope, expectation, and some sort of burden on the audience that we are ready to take this risk. Are you ready to look at this cinema? Are you ready to appreciate this cinema? And I think, therefore, the strategy really reflects that. It's going to be true to the film. It's going to be for the audience that it is meant to be. And I think, to me, the film will speak for itself. And it's the word of mouth which will really drive this.
How many screens are you looking for in India as well as?
See, I think let's leave that, because that's something that gets decided closer to the release. Depends on what are the other things in the theaters and so on and so forth. But let's just say that we will take it to anybody and everybody who is the audience for this kind of a film. Yeah.
आमिर आपसे सवाल है कि लाइला को पसंद है मार्गरीटा, वो जाती हैं खरीदने, शॉपकीपर से मांगती हैं. इन जनरल आप कैसे जाते हैं रात में और क्या खरीदना पसंद करते हैं?
इन जनरल मैं कहाँ जाता हूँ? रात को तो मैं घर पे रहता हूँ भैया. रात को तो मैं घर पे ही रहता हूँ.
Kalki, this question for you.
I'm sorry for French television. Shonali and Aamir, do you think that there are many actresses and actors in Bollywood who are willing to take as much risks as Kalki in a role? As much risk as her?
I don't think though, I find Kalki is unique, but not because she's French. She's really more Indian than me. She's lived in this country longer. She's born in Pondicherry. She's completely Indian to the core. I don't think it's her Frenchness that makes her. I think she's an amazing person, and as an actor, yes, it's very true that Kalki is really willing to push herself, to take risks, but also to do that hard work. Aamir as an actor is also one of those people these are actors who we die to direct as directors, because they spend months into getting into the skin of a character. So we're sitting here with three such actors who believe in that kind of work, and I'm very honored and privileged to be sitting with three such talented actors as Shiny, Kalki and Aamir, who believe in that kind of work. And I feel as directors, such actors exist in our country. I think what happens with Bollywood is that we don't push the boundaries enough. Directors, or for whatever reason, producers, wrong notions of audiences, don't push those boundaries enough and don't give our actors those challenges that they're up for, I think. And it's a changing time. It's an exciting time to be directors and actors and filmmakers in India.
Alright, that will be our last question. Please. Now. I want to ask you, Aamir, right here. This is a question for you and Aamir both. You are always, Kalki, you are always trying to push the envelope in terms of whatever projects you're doing. And here, somewhere you're talking about a woman's sexuality. And that topic, somehow, for the nation has always been controversial with the Nirbhaya rape case, with the rapist coming on board and talking about why, he would rape that girl and he would probably kill her after doing that. And he was justifying his move. For someone like you, who is playing such strong roles on the screen, what do you have to say about that? There's been a huge parliamentary discussion about this as well. It's a big political issue. And somewhere you're trying to, dabble in that space through your roles as well, especially this one. So what would you have to say?
I don't think the two things are related, if you ask me. So I don't know how your connection, drawing the connection.
Just talking about a woman's sexuality,
I think the film is actually, that is one of the aspects of the film. The film is many things. That's just one of the aspects.
Also, I really don't think there's anything controversial about a woman's sexuality. Yeah. Really, it's the most basic thing.
No, but with the Nirbhaya rape case,
but that's not this film. We're not talking about that.
No, but I want to ask you about that.
That's maybe another time when we're talking
about
women's day, we're talking about that.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.